Okay, we seriously need to talk about what is happening in Palestine in this very moment. Since the initial ceasefire deal between the Israeli state and Hamas in mid-January, Israel has continued its bombing of Gaza as early as February, violating the ceasefire deal many times over. The ceasefire officially ended in March, when Israel launched surprise airstrikes on Gaza, with Netanyahu declaring that Israel has resumed combat in full force, with the wave of airstrikes being just the beginning. And now, 2 months later, we are back to the status quo. Well, actually, now it's a lot worse, because since the violation of the ceasefire, Israel has put Gaza on a complete humanitarian aid blockade. Israel is once again using starvation as a weapon, so much so that the World Kitchen, a non-profit that previously provided food relief in Gaza, came out with a statement a few weeks ago announcing that it has completely run out of food. And not because the trucks stopped coming in, there are reportedly hundreds of food trucks waiting to enter from Egypt, but because the Israeli government purposefully doesn't let them in. And now, after 75 days of blockade and a tiny bit of pressure from European leaders, the Israeli government finally let in 9 food trucks. It is about 0.84% of what is reportedly needed, especially after 2 months of starvation. The United Nations is now claiming that up to 14,000 babies in Gaza could die if they don't receive food within the next 48 hours. This is abysmal, of course. Right in front of us we have a live-streamed Holocaust, and there is no denying it. What makes this even scarier is the increased genocidal rhetoric coming from Israeli officials, where at the beginning they made sure to appear concerned and sympathetic towards regular Palestinians, talking about Hamas and their hostages as their primary objectives. Now the rhetoric has shifted towards complete annihilation and subsequent occupation of Gaza. As an example, here is a transcribed speech from Israel's ex-finance minister Bezalel Smotrich, who until very recently was in Netanyahu's cabinet. And I quote, "A few bakeries distributing pitas, a daily portion of cooked food. Citizens in Gaza will get a pita and a plate of food, and that's it. That's exactly what we see in the videos. People standing in line, waiting for a plate of soup. It allows the world to continue providing us with international protection." Later adding, "We are dismantling Gaza, leaving it in ruins with unprecedented destruction, and the world still has not stopped us." For the record, this was very clearly never about the hostages. The Israeli government does not care. If they did, they wouldn't have broken the ceasefire that agreed on releasing them, and they wouldn't be leveling the Gaza Strip with essentially daily nuclear airstrikes. And if you're still one of those people that doesn't care because a conflict in the Middle East does not concern me, take a closer look at the technology and weapons companies supplying Israel: Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Microsoft. Meta has recently been caught recruiting over 100 IDF soldiers and spies into their company. Take Palantir as an example, a US artificial intelligence company that battle tests its tracking and facial recognition technology on the Palestinians. Who do you think later buys it from them? US Department of Defense, CIA, NATO, and ICE. How long do you think it will take before those very weapons get turned against us? Where is your line that they apparently have not crossed yet?